Here's some of what's heading your way tonight on your News at 9.
The CDC changes its policy on wearing masks indoors. I'm David Lee Miller in New York. The details coming up.
And an area health department hosts a COVID-19 vaccine clinic aimed at teenagers. Doug Heddy has weather, Jacob Leonard has sports. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Dow Quick. 134. That's the number of 4-state residents who called during our vaccine day. Fox 14 and KOAM partnered with Mercy Hospital in Joplin to host a call center staffed with professionals to answer your questions about the COVID-19 vaccine. Medical staff on the phone say callers had a number of questions, with many focusing on their medical history and how it could impact their reaction to the vaccine.
We had a lot of patients who were thankful that we had this opportunity, so they might be older people who are not on social media to research or maybe not research things, but I believe they appreciated the opportunity to call in and speak to someone and answer what we could.
We want to thank Mercy Hospital and the staff who helped with Vaccine Day. The CDC makes a major change to its indoor mask guidance. This comes as governors take new action to encourage people to get vaccinated. Reporter David Lee Miller has more.
If you are fully vaccinated, you can start doing the things that you had stopped doing because of the pandemic.
The CDC announcing it will allow fully vaccinated people to drop masks indoors in most places. The agency says more than 46% of Americans have received at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine.
Some people said we couldn't do this, that it would not be until the fall that we had this many people vaccinated. But we proved the doubters wrong.
Governors and city leaders are looking for new ways to encourage people to get a shot. Ohio plans to award 5 vaccinated residents $1 million each as part of a lottery beginning later this month.
It's clear that some people can be persuaded, and maybe, we can help kind of push them along to do this, because there's nothing more important.
The race to vaccinate children against COVID-19 officially kicked off on Thursday. Nearly 17 million Americans aged 12 to 15 are now eligible for a shot after the CDC greenlit Pfizer's formula for that age group. The expanded rollout could have a major impact on how summer camps and schools reopen. On Thursday, the president of the second largest teachers union in the U.S. called for a full reopening of schools in the fall.
Not only to reopen, but to reimagine our schools in a way that every public school is a place parents want to send their kids.
President Biden has set a goal of vaccinating 70% of all American adults by July 4th. In New York, David Lee Miller, Fox News.
Since the CDC approved Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for kids as young as 12, we wanted to hear from a local health official about that decision. Dr. Tim Stebbins with the Crawford County Health Department says COVID is a risk that even young people should try to avoid.
Well, they don't get very sick. And you know what? That's true. Most of them don't. We still have some that do. And we still have some kids that have significant long-term effects from COVID-19. And so we want to prevent that.
Clinical trials showed the vaccine to be 100% effective among teens, with similar side effects to what has been shown in adults. Checking in with Doug Heddy. Nothing to complain about weather-wise, Doug.
No, pretty good day for us today. Actually, temperatures fantastic as we warmed up even a little bit more. Cold start, 43, record 42, so we made a run at it. 69 for a high, but still shy of 76, where our average high is for this time of the year. But clear skies right now, so nothing is going on. We can track up into parts of Nebraska. A band of showers and thunderstorms, and they are sliding south and east. They're going to break up a little bit, but we are going to get some scattered showers and thunderstorms in here a little bit later on tonight. Temps still pretty good, upper 50s to near 60 degrees. Of course, with chances for showers and thunderstorms increasing over the next couple days, we're going to be breaking down that forecast for you here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. Thanks, Doug. The Oklahoma State Department of Health has set a new goal for COVID-19 vaccinations. 3 million doses administered by Memorial Day. So far, the state has given out 2.7 million. An official with the Ottawa County Health Department says these milestones say a lot about Oklahomans.
It's a good feeling, and it's really a testament to Oklahomans and taking personal responsibility to get the vaccine. And we were able to roll it out in a great way with our tribal partners and all of our businesses and pandemic providers, as well as our county health departments. So Oklahoma's kind of been a model to show how you can partner together with other entities to get the vaccine out to people.
Oklahoma state officials say in total 39% of adults are fully vaccinated and more than 50% have gotten at least one shot. The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is now approved for 12 to 15-year-olds, but it's nothing new to many teens ages 16 and up. KOAM's Mike Mahoney checked out a vaccination clinic in Crawford County aimed at teenagers to find out what inspired them to get their shots.
Emma McCormick is one of many teens who spent part of her Thursday at the Crawford County Health Department getting her second shot of the COVID-19 vaccine. She knows she can't have a normal summer without one.
I'm probably going to go see family more than I have been able to, since I didn't want to risk getting them COVID or anything. Go places, see my friends, that kind of stuff.
The Pfizer coronavirus vaccine is now available to kids as young as 12, and the Crawford County Health Department is hoping younger county residents will follow the example set by the roughly 90 16 and 17-year-olds who signed up for Thursday's vaccination clinic. The health department also hopes clinics like this will educate those who wrongly believe the young and healthy don't need a COVID-19 vaccine.
Kids do have a robust immune system, but still, as social as they are, things do spread very rapidly, and so this protects them, it protects their social life, it gives them freedom.
Since the vaccine is key to summer fun, the Crawford County Health Department wanted to make getting a shot as fun as they could. That's why music, cotton candy, and even goodie bags were all a part of the clinic.
It's not bribery or anything, it's just a way of celebration, relieving some stress, and having some fun with the kids.
In Pittsburgh, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
The Crawford County Health Department says they're already planning a COVID-19 vaccination clinic for 12 to 15-year-olds, and it could happen as soon as next week. All adults are now vaccine eligible, but that doesn't mean they're all lining up to get their COVID-19 shot. There are many reasons. Health experts say they've struggled to get Missouri residents vaccinated. They say all evidence points to the vaccine being safe and effective and encourage residents to get the vaccine.
Some people would like to see it actually authorized for use as opposed to the emergency authorization. I think some people are waiting for that. Some people are waiting to make sure that there's not other outcomes from the vaccine.
He adds some people haven't had time to get to a clinic or other vaccination site and encourages anyone to get vaccinated where they can. Breakthrough case rates refer to people who've tested positive for COVID-19 after being fully vaccinated. In Newton County, there have been 2 instances reported to the health department. Both of these were reported in a nursing home in the county as the facility conducted regular testing.
Those 2 were in a nursing home environment, and the facility was doing regular testing on a weekly basis, and the 2 would not have known they had it. They had no symptoms at all, and so they were isolated from the others early on.
The health department says this instance is a good example of the COVID-19 vaccine's success. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another 4-state hero. Clifford Janes served in the U.S. Army. The Pittsburgh native was stationed in Korea and served 2 tours in Vietnam. We salute Sergeant Major Clifford Janes, a 4-state hero. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later College Heights and Diamond softball square off for a spot in the state semifinals. We'll have highlights and post-game reaction in sports.
Well, it actually turned out to be a pretty good day for us today. Temperatures warming up, but we're almost halfway through May, and majority of the month has actually been kind of chilly as we've had temperatures below average. The weekends have been really good, but the weeks have been chillier all this week. Kind of cool as we sat into the 50s, and then we got near 70 for us today, but it does look like we're going to start to warm up a little bit more over the next few days. It just kind of stinks that this has May, and we're not sitting into the 70s, but at least we are going to get up there. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Today was pretty nice, but the allergies have been kind of high. On a scale of 1 to 10, today is a 7, tomorrow's an 8. These are mainly tree allergies, the grass, pollen, which has been across the region. Temperatures, though, pretty good. Not near as cold as what we've had over the past couple days, sitting upper 50s to near 60 degrees. We're going to drop off probably another 10 degrees for us as we go through the overnight hours tonight. But as of right now, we have pretty much clear skies. We are watching thunderstorms up across central parts of Nebraska. These are diving south and east toward us. They're going to fall apart, but we are going to get some scattered showers and thunderstorms in here late tonight into tomorrow morning. Also notice the winds are starting to crank back out of the south. As this occurs over the next couple days, our atmosphere will become a little bit more unstable, a little more ripe to get stronger showers and thunderstorms. We have this system down in California. It's going to spit little chunks of energy at us just about each and every day over the next week or so. In fact, over the next 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, we have a chance for thunderstorms almost every single day. Let's go through time. For us tonight, scattered thunderstorms trying to work in on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side during the morning hours. These are not going to be severe, and they are going to be scattered. We'll see a few more try to kind of pop up during the afternoon, but I would say only about 30 or 40% of us actually have rain tomorrow, and if you live on the Kansas or the Oklahoma side, you have the better shot. 66 by noon, high temp right around 71. Tomorrow night, thunderstorms out to our west. These will start to work in as we head into Saturday morning. So Saturday morning, we're going to have showers and thunderstorms, not severe. But by Saturday afternoon, here comes a warm front. So this is by evening, we'll get storms that will form along this front, and some of those could be strong to severe. So Saturday evening, Saturday night will be our next shot to get some severe thunderstorms. We'll get thunderstorms Saturday night and then into Sunday morning, and then I think we'll get another round popping back up as we head into Sunday afternoon. And again, some of those could be on the strong to severe side. So of course we need to keep an eye on the weather over the next 2.5 weeks. 71 for us tomorrow, 72 Saturday, 74 on Sunday. Temperature is pretty good all the way through the period, but thunderstorm chances each and every day.
Of course, typical, I guess, for this time of year.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up, the fighting escalates between Israel and Hamas.
Both Israel and Hamas say they are digging in for a long fight as the two sides exchange rocket fire and airstrikes. I'm Trey Yingst along the Israel-Gaza border. I've got the details coming up.
A spokesperson from Hamas has made it clear the militants plan to keep attacking Israel in the worst cross-border fighting since 2014. Reporter Trey Yingst has more from the Israel-Gaza border.
The Israeli military moving more assets to the border as rocket fire from Gaza continues. Hamas militants launching multiple barrages far into Israel on Thursday. More than 1,500 have been fired in just 3 days, compared to 4,500 total in the 2014 war, which lasted for 50 days. The escalation by Hamas came after Israel pounded the Gaza Strip with hundreds of airstrikes, reportedly taking out at least 10 members of the Hamas senior leadership. But the militants say they won't back down.
The decision to bomb Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and any cities before or after that from our occupied cities is easier for us than drinking water.
There have been at least 7 Israelis killed since the start of the fighting, but the Iron Dome defense system is working day and night, shooting down about 90% of the rockets, enabling Israeli commanders to expand their offensive.
The defense activities of the Iron Dome batteries give us room to attack, and we continue to strike Hamas while defending our citizens.
The violence comes as Muslims mark the end of Eid al-Fitr, the end of Ramadan. But celebrations are almost non-existent this year as the airstrikes continue. The UN office in Gaza now warning of a growing humanitarian disaster if both sides don't stop fighting.
How we get to a point where they get to a point where there is a significant reduction in the attacks, particularly the rocket attacks.
Egyptian negotiators are holding face-to-face talks trying to push for a ceasefire by the end of the week. Along the Israel-Gaza border, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
Just ahead, a critical pipeline has been restarted.
President Biden responds to the latest developments surrounding the Colonial Pipeline hack. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington with what he's saying about Russia's role and when you can expect more gas at gas stations. All that coming up.
The Colonial Pipeline has been restarted, but it's going to take a while for the fuel to make its way back through the system that's been shut down since Friday. Many Americans in affected states have been hoarding gasoline, straining the already disrupted system. Reporter Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with more on the pain at the pump and the White House response.
President Biden told Americans hopefully by this weekend and into early next week, things will return to normal following the ransomware hack of the Colonial Pipeline.
I want to be clear. We'll not feel the effects at the pump immediately. This is not like flicking on a light switch.
As stations run out of gas all along the southeast and east coast, the president urged Americans to not panic buy fuel and be patient as service is restored. President Biden says he does not believe the Russian government is responsible for the attack, but the FBI believes the hackers do live in Russia.
We have been in direct communications with Moscow about the imperative for responsible countries to take decisive action against these ransomware networks.
President Biden signed an executive order on Wednesday to have the federal government work closer with the private sector to boost cybersecurity measures and avoid a repeat of this incident. When questioned whether or not Colonial Pipeline had paid a ransom to the hackers, this is what he said.
I have no comment on that.
Lawmakers want more answers.
What we reward, we get more of, and we don't want to encourage more ransomware attacks on our critical infrastructure across this country.
We don't want people to think that there's money in it for them to threaten the security of a critical infrastructure in our country.
The president said this hack shows the nation's infrastructure needs to be strengthened. He called on Congress to pass a bill to do so and said he'd be willing to negotiate with Republicans. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Coming up, the first interstellar spacecraft is sending back data showing a humming sound in the deep reaches of space. It was the first spacecraft to enter interstellar space back in 2012. Now, 8 years later, Voyager 1's data is revealing new insights. According to a new study, the spacecraft detects a persistent hum beyond our solar system. Findings published in the journal Nature Astronomy say the sound is plasma waves reverberating through space, changing in frequency based on surrounding density. Voyager 1 was built with special antennas to pick up these tones and transmit that information 14 billion miles back to Earth. The sounds collected since 2012 reveal a new way to measure densities in interstellar space, according to the Cornell University-led team, creating a system, they say, to better map the space between the stars. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. We're going to hear from health officials about COVID vaccination rate discrepancies between area counties. Plus,
at the White House, President Biden sat down with a group of Republican lawmakers talking infrastructure. I'm Matt Rivera in Washington with the latest on his efforts to get bipartisan support for more spending coming up.
Authorities in Newton County, Missouri filed charges against a man accused of shooting at deputies. The suspect, Benjamin Ivy from Grandview, Missouri, remains in the hospital after authorities say he shot at deputies who returned fire. Ivy's charged in Newton County with unlawful use of a weapon, also charged in McDonald County with first-degree felonious assault and armed criminal action. Last report, Ivy was listed in stable condition at the hospital. City of Joplin is outpacing much of Missouri when it comes to COVID-19 vaccines. The CDC says 41% of people in Joplin have received at least one shot. That's compared to 20% of residents in other parts of Jasper and Newton County who have been vaccinated. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke to area health departments to find out more about the discrepancy.
Everything that's inside Joplin city limits would go on Joplin's data. Anything outside of Joplin city limit, but in Newton County, goes on Newton County's numbers, and Jasper County outside of Joplin city would go on Jasper County numbers.
That's just one of the reasons officials give for nearly double the number of people in Joplin receiving at least one dose of the COVID vaccine than in Jasper and Newton counties.
Well, I think whenever you see in the state data, anytime you see where Joplin is separated out, it's oftentimes not really reflective of what's actually happening.
A lot of people in Jasper and Newton County live in zip codes belonging to Joplin, and these vaccine rates may be reported as Joplin's.
It's really difficult to kind of separate that out because the zip codes kind of include city and county individuals.
Still, officials say availability of the vaccine and Joplin being a hub for healthcare means more people who call Joplin home are getting vaccinated.
Only counted once, but whether they end up being counted as Joplin residents or county residents sometimes is not a real clear definition as to are they really only getting city residents or are they getting people within that zip code's residence? In fact, I'm one of them. I live out there and my immunization wasn't counted, and none of my families nor any of my neighbors have been counted as county residents. So it oftentimes it's hard for them to get a clear delineation when they separate out those numbers.
Both the city and county health departments say they'll continue to hold clinics in hopes of increasing the vaccine percentages in the county. Employers of Keller Williams Realty in Joplin today were out cleaning up Turkey Creek, Joplin Creek, and some parks as part of Red Day. Red Day stands for Renew, Energize, and Donate. It's a global day of service meant to help local communities.
You know, it makes me feel amazing to give back to Joplin, give back to the community. That helps us, you know, beautify our city when we tour people who are from out of town, or even just when we're taking our kids to ball games or around here, and you see the amount of trash that hits these riverways. It's a little bit alarming.
The day of service ended with a party and concert in Landreth Park. Millions of Americans can start applying to get $50 off their monthly internet bill. It's part of an emergency government program to keep people connected. People who received food stamps or lost income during the pandemic are among those eligible. President Biden met with a group of Republican lawmakers today to talk about his multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure proposal. Comes a day after he met with the top 4 congressional leaders as the president seeks bipartisan support for his spending plan. Reporter Madeline Rivera is in Washington with the latest on the ongoing negotiations.
His only line in the sand is inaction.
The White House maintains President Biden is looking to work together with Republicans to find a deal on infrastructure. His meeting on Thursday with 6 GOP senators, more than just a photo op, they say.
No, they're sincere about it, and so am I. And what we're going to try to do is figure out what we can agree constitutes infrastructure from each of our perspectives.
But so far, Republicans and Democrats have been more adamant about where they won't budge. The two sides stand at odds on tax hikes for corporations and wealthy Americans, which the president has proposed to pay for his roughly $2 trillion spending plan. Republicans say they're not supporting rolling back the tax cuts former President Trump enacted in 2017.
The attitude that the president had in the Oval Office with us was very supportive, very much desirous of striking a deal. So that's what we're heading for.
Democrats have shown little appetite for Republicans' $568 billion counteroffer, seeing it as far too small.
The country needs a strong infrastructure package.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, however, has indicated he'd support a package that costs as much as $800 billion. Although bipartisan talks are ongoing, the president has signaled he'd be willing to move forward without Republicans.
My colleagues in the Senate came back and said they'll come back to me with a counteroffer of what they are prepared to do and fund and how to fund it. And then we'll talk again next week. So thank you all so very much.
The White House says the president is aiming to see real progress on the infrastructure package by Memorial Day, which is less than 2.5 weeks away. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
A bit later, the Biden administration's latest efforts to address the immigration crisis.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas answering questions about the ongoing border crisis. I'm Bill Malugin in Del Rio, Texas. That story coming up.
Well, it turned out to be a pretty good Thursday actually for us today. The best day of the week so far, as we have plenty of sunshine across the region. Temperature's pretty good, right around 70, still about 6-7 degrees below our average high, but at least we are closing that gap over the past couple days. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Allergies have been kind of high on the scale of 1 to 10. Today's a 7, tomorrow's an 8. Mainly the tree and the grass allergies. Temperatures, upper 50s to near 60 degrees. I think we'll drop back about another 10 degrees, 48 to about 50-ish by the time we head into the morning hours. Clear skies, nothing going on here, but we do have a batch of thunderstorms out across central parts of Nebraska. These are strong, mainly not severe, but they're sliding south and east. So these will actually start to affect us a bit by the time we head into late tonight and also early tomorrow morning. But this is mainly going to be on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. But look how the winds are veering back toward the south. When that starts occurring and we get a south wind, our atmosphere will become a little bit more unstable as we head into the weekend. So instead of just thunderstorms, we're going to have a severe threat back in the forecast. Out to the west, we got a wave that is just kind of shooting little chunks of energy at us, and it's going to continue to do that as we go through about the next week or so. So we're going to have plenty of chances of rain. All right, let's go through tonight. Tonight's fine. Here's 6:37 in the morning. Scattered showers, scattered thunderstorms, mainly on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. But as they continue to work southeast, we'll have some hit and miss storms throughout the day. Nothing severe, so we don't have to worry about that tomorrow. And temperature is pretty good, right around 71, 72 for an afternoon high. Tomorrow night, we'll watch more thunderstorms out to the west. These are going to move in by Saturday morning. So Saturday morning, we'll have scattered showers and thunderstorms, not severe. Again, as we head into the afternoon, scattered thunderstorms. This is Saturday. Warm front lifts in. By the time the front gets here, by the evening hours, then we cross over into the unstable air mass. So once that front lifts north, any storms from that point on have a potential of being severe. So we got to watch that Saturday night and then into Sunday morning. So we're going into Sunday morning, some scattered thunderstorms, and then again, Sunday afternoon, they'll start to pop back up, and some of those could be strong, possibly severe. So something we want to watch over the next few days. All right, tomorrow, hit and miss showers and thunderstorms, not severe. High temp of 71 degrees. If we head into Saturday, 72, Sunday is going to be 74. So temperatures look pretty good through the period, but we have those chances for showers and thunderstorms each and every day. All right, severe threat for the next few days. Tomorrow we don't have to worry about it. We have a low threat on Saturday evening and night. As we get closer to these events, we may up these chances, but you can see we have at least a severe threat Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Something we certainly need to be aware of almost every day this time of year.
We really do.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up in sports, Crowder Baseball opens the Region 16 tournament at Joe Becker Stadium in Joplin. Plus, Missouri Southern Softball faces Central Missouri in the Final Four of the MIAA tournament. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Tonight is quarterfinal night for the Missouri Class II State Softball Tournament. Now we have two local teams squaring off this evening in Sarcoxie, aiming to move on to the Final Four. College Heights on the field against Diamond tonight. Pitchers duel headed into the sixth. Jalen Johnson whacks it out to left center for a double. College Heights trying to put something together down one. Maddie Bentley, though, just too dominant tonight. Gets the strikeout to strand the runner, then does it again to end the game. 14 strikeouts for the junior. Bentley tops 200 strikeouts for the season. Diamond moves on to the state semifinals tonight, winning 1-0.
This win feels amazing. It's the first time in the history of our program that we're going to the Final Four, and I just can't be more proud of my girls and my team. They're always wanting to stay late. They want those extra reps, and I think it's paid off. You know, we're in the postseason, and I think their hard work is just incredible and shows the character they have.
At the college level, Missouri Southern facing Central Missouri in the MIAA Tournament Final Four. Jenny's already up 2-0. Mackenzie McAtee smacks a double deep to left center. That brings in Ashlyn Cook. UCM up 3-0 at the end of the first. Jumping to the fifth now. Jenny's extend the lead. Cook connects for a solo shot. Central gets a 5-run advantage. Missouri Southern falls 7-0 tonight. They'll try to stay alive against Rogers State tomorrow night. The Fort Scott Tigers wrap up the regular season tonight at home against Chanute. Now, this game has big-time implications in the race for the SEK League title. Now, Chanute claims the outright SEK championship with the win. The two teams share the title with a Fort Scott win tonight. In the third, Cam Custer drops one into left. That'll bring 2 home. Comets get 3 in the top of the third. Big answer for Fort Scott in the bottom half, though. Bases loaded for Luke Bradbury. Big night for him. He finds grass in right center. Caden Young scores. Cody Wilson right behind him. Then, check it out. After a throw gets away, Dryden Cousins also scores. Tigers get 4 in the bottom of the third for their first lead, and they rolled from there. Next inning, Cousins back to work. Brings in 2 with the single to right. Fort Scott rolls 11-3. After an 0-7 start, they win 11 of 13 to claim a share of the SEK League title.
Our motto all along from the very beginning of the year was hold the rope. And the idea is, you know, if you're playing tug of war and you're getting pulled one way and you're struggling, you got to dig your heels in, you got to hold onto the rope, and you got to heave. And if one guy lets go of the rope, you lose. It's over. They deserve what they got tonight, and they'll, you know, I told them they get to put a number up on our board in the clubhouse for a conference championship, and that's special. And I'm just so happy that they'll be remembered that way.
On the Missouri side tonight, Webb City up to number 2 in the final state rankings, hosting Kickapoo. Webb City hammers the Chiefs today 11-1. The Cardinals are 24-5 heading into districts. The Crowder College Rough Riders kick off the Region 16 tournament today in Joplin. Crowder is the number 1 seed in the tournament, coming into the day with a 46-6 record. Now, the Rough Riders face Metropolitan Community College today. Metropolitan threatening in the third, runner on third with 2 outs. Dylan Carter gets the strikeout. He had 7 strikeouts today. The game still scoreless. Rough Riders at the dish now. Peyton Holt in the gap and left. Josh Patrick is headed to third. He's in there safely. Holt gets Crowder's first hit of the day. Then Landry Wilkerson, seen this a time or two this year, gives Crowder a spark. 3-run homer. Crowder gets the shutout win tonight, 6-0. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Things got heated at a Senate hearing on Capitol Hill today as Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas answered questions about the Biden administration's handling of the border crisis. This as the number of migrants illegally crossing into the U.S. continues to rise. Reporter Bill Malugan is at the border in Del Rio, Texas, with the story.
As migrants continue to stream in across the border, hundreds of Texas troopers head to the area for reinforcement. Border Patrol agents are overwhelmed by the number of migrants, encountering more than 178,000 in April, a slight increase from March's numbers and a 900% increase from April 2020. Last month was also the second busiest month on record for crossings by unaccompanied children. Authorities say they're not only stretched thin trying to stop illegal entry, but also the flow of illegal drugs and other illicit activities.
We see a lot of drug loads, a lot of gun loads as well, and obviously a lot of human smuggling cases.
This as all eyes are on the Biden administration and its handling of the crisis. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is back on Capitol Hill, answering questions, some heated, about the ongoing immigration problems. A day after saying the U.S. must tackle the root causes of the surge and construct legal pathways for asylum seekers.
Is this not a massive failure that would suggest that the administration needs to take immediate action?
Senator, we have taken immediate action with respect to the unaccompanied children, and we've
is the number coming down?
We are addressing that challenge with increasing efficiency every single day.
Meanwhile, it appears Mexican authorities are being more proactive. We have witnessed for the last 2 days Mexican Marines patrolling the opposite shorelines and apprehending migrants. In Del Rio, Texas, Bill Malugan, Fox News.
Coming up, we're going to check out this weekend's new movie releases, both in theaters and through streaming. This week, our look at new movies means a look at what's new in theaters, with several major releases now on the big screen. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
They're not what you think they are.
Have we turned a corner when it comes to more movies being released in theaters now?
Definitely turned a corner. And you're going to see really from here on out, major releases in theaters
every single weekend.
That eats everything in its path.
Those Who Wish Me Dead, starring Angelina Jolie, is in theaters and HBO Max.
She's paired with a young kid named Finn Little, who's also extraordinary. He witnesses a murder, and then two assassins are sort of chasing him. He runs into Angelina Jolie in the middle of a forest, and then they have to sort of survive together, not just from these assassins, but also from an impending forest fire.
There's Spiral from the Book of Saw, based on an idea from Chris Rock.
He's on the case of what looks like a Jigsaw copycat, but this time it's reserved to sort of the police. And it has a lot of social commentary built into it about police loyalty and police misconduct.
Jigsaw?
You're going to get some gory scenes, but it's also a Chris Rock movie. So you're going to get some humor in there as well. It's also a really great mystery whodunit thriller.
He's stalking me.
And on the lighter side, Finding You.
A talented, aspiring violinist who winds up meeting a famous young movie star. But then, of course, does the movie stardom unfortunately get in the way of that romance continuing?
Plus, there's Zack Snyder's zombie heist flick, Army of the Dead.
This is also a historic movie for Netflix because it's on the most amount of movie screens that Netflix has ever been on.
Army of the Dead then streams next Friday. In Hollywood, Ashley DeBorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. We're going to leave you with video of alpacas at the London Zoo. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in a couple of minutes for KOAM News at 10 over on Channel 7. Let's take care of ourselves and each other.